Hey, good morning everyone. So we're going to continue the same content where we lapped over playbook. So we saw the basic component of the playbook and we saw the challenges. So let's solve this challenge. Challenge is that they have default task over there gathering facts. So we did not define any task even though they have in the play they automatic took one default task. So I have to bypass that task. I don't want that default task. In the case of the, if your managed node belong to routers, switches or networking devices. If your devices belong to Linux, Unix or Windows, that's okay. Then the default task is very useful, okay, for the testing purpose. But as soon as your network device going to come, it's not. So guys, this is originally the play or Ansible built for the Linux operating system, Unix operating system or Windows, not for intermediate operating system. So we have to explicitly so many things disable and so many things we have to introduce as a network engineer. So first thing, I don't want any default task should run. That is attribute called gather facts. Gather facts. Keep remember the syntax as well as spelling same. If you do a single mistakes, they will not going to work. Then follow the colon, follow the space, then you give your attribute whether you want or not. By default it's enable, so you can do false. You can create this as a false. So as soon as you click false, the error and it's going to be italic automatic because my file is sensible to YAML format. Okay, so my code is closed. I save this. I don't do anything. I just make gather facts attributes. This is the key attribute and I pass the value as a false. Okay, now I'm going to save this and going to run now my play. So if I run my play, because authentication I have to give for the router as an admin, let's see what going to happen. So you can see successfully my play run. Because I did not given any task, I removed the task. Though in the playbook you can see the my play name, my very first code, and the recap. There is no task. Clear guys? Awesome. Understand?
Yes,
Yes.
Congratulations, you understand the format of the first three line you can write anytime. Okay, now if you see the play, your cursor always having two space from behind to the actual. So this is two space you have to follow. So after writing this, okay, so let me do this. Another thing, I want to give some task here. Okay, then only my play is going to be defined. So I'm going to explicitly going to define my task. So task is a what is a dictionary, the key, and then enter. By default is going to sense as a YAML format, so it's going to take the two space from the task, means everything you are doing within the task. This says within the task dictionary you're going to pass your the values. So you are passing your values. So what are the values? The task I want, what I want to give the name. It's a very good practice. Always you give the name what you want to do. So I want to give the name, means name always is list. So what's the name? What you want to do? What you want to do? Anyone? Anything take. I want to take the art. I want to take art, very basic code. So get art information. This is giving you are giving just name. Whatsoever you want to do, you just write. This is a good culture, you write. Then you do your stuff. Now within this name, you have to give two space. I given to two space. Space 1 and space 2. Now you come with the name. Now I will pass my row command, row module. So what is the actual command? So actual command you have to go. So IPR, actual command here, row module. Okay. Now what going to happen? So let's come back to this. What going to happen here? So once any programming you do, so first you have list. You have to define the list. Then list may be your name. I use here name. It's a good practice. Then I pass the host. That's inventory. Then for the network device, you have to default facts supposed to be false. So facts pass as a false, don't need. Then you come to the task having what, the name, then row module. Okay, so once they will run this row module, it going to restore, where, in the built-in registry, where it's going to store built-in registry. There is a register in programming language. There is a hardware register which store your output. So this register output you have to capture, you have to transfer on your variable, on your variables, and this variable defined by you. But you have to remember, once you define your variables and you store your output in that variable, you have to call according to your print requirement, according to your further work, what you want to do. Let's do this, then understand. So there is something called register. Don't do the spelling mistake. Register. Then you means whatever the output stored in the register, you have to give me on my defined variable. So मैं अपना define कर रहा हूँ ARP, anything you want to do, ARP out. That's I define the variable name ARP out, means whatever the value in the register, please transfer those value, that is called ARP out. You can do any name, that's depend upon you, but you do meaningful name so that you can defer later on whenever you need to call this variable. Just I want to show you. So I want to this, and let's do nothing you do. I don't want to do anything. Just I will close this by triple dot, and let's understand what the impact of this. So I'm going to run this play. What going to happen? There is a task get ARP information. The change happened and they recap that there is a changed. They took the information and all the information is okay, but there is no output printed over there. So I define the task, I define the play name, I define the task, and the play recap, they said this change happened, they took the information, they register, they save into the register, and they transfer to the some variable called ARP output. But I want to see that whether if it's stored in the ARP out or not. Right or wrong, guys? Till here you understand, everyone?
Yeah.
Comfortable?
Yeah, Ashwa, just one question.
Sorry. Yes, your voice
Yeah.
is low. Can
Okay.
you speak little loud?
Yeah, just one question. So, when we say this register, so which register are we exactly talking about? Like
Okay,
where this
register.
ARP out?
Yeah, this register inbuilt register with the ANSIBLE. They store this value in the register. Every time they will store new value. Okay, so that's why you have to, if you want to refer the old value, your original value, so you have to transfer the registered value some other defined variable, otherwise it's going to be lost.
Okay, so whatever the task raw module output, that will be going to save and register, and we need to give the meaningful name so that we can understand.
Yes. So I given the arp out. Now I want to print.
Hmm.
So let me create again new list as a name. Let's print and debug. I want to debug what is the ARP output. I given the name. This is the right way to write the code, because you know. Then you do debug. Debug is nothing. It's going to print, debug your logs. Okay. So pass your variable. Who is your variable? Variable are equal to, what is the variable? Tell me, anyone? ARP out here, just we define, right? Just we define ARP out, right or wrong?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have given this ARP out and I'm going to save this. Let's see it's working or not. I save this. Always you save, then only it's going to meaningful. So I'm going to run this. See what going to happen. So my play is working. Something printed over here. Great. Something printed. So ARP out, you can see the ARP out is my cache, which is transferred from register. Let's print the debug, and the debug, they are saying that your task has been changed. They collected the information and they captured in the ARP out as a register, and the ARP out is this, which is print over here. What is the change? Change is true, failed false, there is no fail. But there is something called standard error, standard error lines, standard output, and standard output lines. Let's understand what they are. There is four things. Guys, today we will spend quality time to understand the fundamental of the play and playbook. I'm honestly telling you, once if you are comfortable with this and you are really able to do by yourself and understand and play with these fundamental elements of the play, recap, task, and the other component, you can create any big multiple play in a one playbook. You can do the any big deployment in a sort of. Okay, so please practice, be comfortable with this. Let's understand the component, what component we got. So we have four component here. The component that's called first standard error, standard error, and standard error lines. Same way, there's a standard out and something called standard out line. Okay, standard error and standard out error format in the single output. Okay, single output, where standard error lines and standard out lines are the actual formats that's printed by the router. The output actual printed by the router. Let's come back to the output. Can you see how we are seeing the output on the screen in CLI? Somehow in this format, and this is in JSON format. That's in called JSON format. This is also called JSON format, but in a single line, not in lines. Can you see /n says that new line, so it's not easy for you to do this. This is not important, you are not able to understand, but at the same time the machine computer is very comfortable to understand this output. Are you understand, guys, what I want to say? You are not comfortable to understand this because you have to decode. I have to break each and every line again. The simple code. But computer understand these codes is easily. Okay. But we understand standard outline. We understand standard outline. Are you guys comfortable till here?
Yes, Ashush.
Okay. Now come back to your play. So I want to little bit make it. Bro, I want this in standard outlines. I don't want to see in different format. I want to see in the out of these four, I want to see standard outlines rather than seeing all the outputs. I'm going to save this so you understand from where I'm going to copy. You no need to remember your playbook. I saw so many network engineer, they just mugged up everything. I'm telling you, bro, this is like how you are doing networking. Same way you have to practice everything on your playbook. You should understand the structures. Okay, now I'm going to debug this. I save this. Now let's see what going to happen. So I run this play. My play is my very first play and the task, and now my output is segregated as for my desired output or standard line output. Do you see? So guys, this is important. Why, Astos, I want to see all the outputs? That will no. You are doing right now one device. You assume if you go for 10, 20, 100, you going to mess up with your logs. Are you agree or with me or not? Let's see for the 3 devices, man. So I'm going to remove this. I'm going to change instead of one router, I'm going to change with the 2 router, 192.168.122.20.
Instead of instead of writing this individual IP, because in our Ansible inventory, the FQDN entry host is already there. So instead of IP, just type host. So will it work?
Yes, it will work. Or I will write my class. It will work. I will show you step by step. I just want to show you.
Okay.
If you want to do in the single host name too, how you want to do. See guys,
Okay.
sometimes you have to prepare. Suppose we have to work for 100 device of the same model. Like 45x series P, you want to do something configuration for 50 device. So you have to take first 2 model 45x and then you test everything is okay, then you go for 50. Okay, so I want to use for this 10.10.20, then I will go for my whole class as routers. Okay, so I save this. Let's see what going to happen. I did not change anything in the play. I changed the only work in the play. Let's see what going to happen. Wow, so you can see the change for the 2 routers .10 .20 and they have separate output for, and they will give you the output. What's the summary output? Okay guys, are you understand everyone? So let's do this. I want to do for entire my class the inventory which I introduced. Just Naval asked me, so my inventory is routers. So in routers inventory, I can see all the router. Let me show you the inventory. Cat Ansible, sorry, cat etc. See Ansible, and then we have respective host. See that we have inventory as a router as a class, and we have these 3 routers. You can make whatsoever you want inventory. You just call your class, and all 3 router going to be have solution with. So my task is the get ARP information. Oh no, the third is not working. Why? You can see. Let's see the what's the region. The third is not connected. I'm able to ping the third. That. So you have to troubleshoot for this 192. 168.120, sorry, 120.30 is a pingable. Let me check the SSH also at the rate with 192.168.120.30. Yes, and then yeah, it's working. Then why it's not? So let's quickly check the command. IO3 username password is
Ashok,
there.
try try once again. I guess might be the SSH. We need to first establish the
Yes,
SSH connection.
right. So let's check it out once again. So there is some problem. Let me see what's the issue with. Okay, let me, if you have this issue, just quickly you go for one router and test this whether this play is working or not. Okay, for the third router I will save this and I will run play with this only for third router. This is supposed to work. This is working for 30. Now we will check the inventory file. There's some mistake, that's why they are not taking. So inventory file 192.1, this inventory file is also okay. Routers is here. Okay, let's quickly again we will play this. No, this time it will work only for one. Let me go to my play. Guys, you have to troubleshoot these things if you are getting routers. The my play spelling is the same. Routers. Save this. Now let's play. Okay, so you can see there is just something is showing. Okay, these are the ARF. Okay, so you can see it's a pass for all three. So guys, sometime because we are working in virtual boxes, so you should not get panic if why it's not working. You do twice, thrice, you write the code again to try, because this is the right syntax to do. Okay, so now you understand till here, comfortable everyone, guys? We are good.
Yes, yes.
Okay, everyone comfortable?
Yes.
Any questions? No. So should I move to the next level, or you have to do for the other coding? And let's do some more examples if you want to do. You can run anything. You if you let me go for new classes. In the new class, we will discuss further how you have to go just for the other command, anything, how you want to filter, how you want to save this in a file. Bye bye, see you in next class.